Alright, over the past few weeks, we've gotten a couple more droplets of Halo Infinite news, and people are not happy for the most part, including myself. There's a lot of things I've got issue with that have been coming out about Halo Infinite, and just stuff with the community, and how everyone's feeling, and there's a lot of negativity going around, and it kind of sucks to be a fan of Halo right now. But I just want to talk about my thoughts on the news, and what I'm excited about still, and the stuff I'm kind of worried about for Infinite, and just kind of the community lately, and what's been going on, and hopefully what we can do to get some actual news on this game some point in the near future. So obviously, we have gotten some news about Halo Infinite lately, a lot of stuff being with the customization of the game, and some 343 news and promotional stuff, and just all kinds of stuff. So let's get into the big news, being that we have some solid, concrete information on the coding system that is going to be in Halo Infinite's customization. And this has been a giant point of controversy lately for a lot of the community, and I for one understand why. So in case you don't know, the way that colors and customization for vehicles, weapons, and armor in Halo Infinite is going to work is going to be in a system called the coding system. There's going to be armor coatings, weapon coatings, and vehicle coatings. And the way they describe this in the community update they put out, I think last week, was a 7-layer shader that allows us to put any artist-authored color, material, or pattern into 7 channels and apply it to in-game items like weapons, armor, and vehicles. So, on the surface, that sounds pretty cool. I heard the word shader, which instantly made me think of Destiny, which made me a little upset, but on the surface level, that sounds kind of cool, especially for vehicles. I still want us to have our kind of weird, like, unique weapon skins. I think that'd be kind of neat, but especially for vehicles, that's stuff they've kind of been implementing in MCC, which is something that'll come up a lot in this, is that we'll talk about how they're testing out, assumedly, a lot of stuff for the customization and progression of Halo Infinite, apparently in Master Chief Collection right now, which makes a lot of sense, because why wouldn't you? So I do think that's very cool, and especially for the armors, if you're going to add in different things like materials and patterns, I think that is a very cool idea. However, all of that comes at the expense of getting rid of the classic, iconic, primary, secondary color system that has become synonymous with Halo, that is like, it can obviously be improved. It's not completely perfect, but things like El Dorito have done it incredibly, and they're going to be getting rid of that system that they've had in place for years in place of this new shader system. And I do not like this, and I have a very big problem with this, along with, it seems like, the vast majority of the Halo community. Because, unless there is a coding for every single primary or secondary color combination, then you are actively detracting from player customization. So even if there is, maybe say, I don't know, a shader for every single combination, then we're still going to have a Halo 5 situation where we're going to have over, 900 different shaders of every single combination of colors that we could have just made in previous games. And even if you do have a coding for every single color combination, you still might have designs or textures on there that you don't want because they come bundled in this little 7-layer shader, which again, I think there's a lot of potential there for very cool things, and I'm sure there will be some that I think look really cool and that I'll want to use, but it's the fact that the customization is actively being taken away from the player, and they're going to have less options than if they had just gone with the normal primary, secondary system. And like I said, I do really like the idea of finally incorporating different textures and weather designs. That's stuff I've wanted in Halo for years, especially that red shift coding, the GameStop one that we saw, that looks very good. But again, I don't want a Halo 5 situation where we have a trillion different things that are hard to sort through, and I just don't want it to end up like Halo 5, because Halo 5 did customization about as poorly as I could have imagined. I'm also worried about how they will be obtained, because with all the promotional stuff lately, we do know that you are going to be able to get these coatings, vehicles, armor, and weapon coatings through in-game items, special rewards, purchase ones. There are going to be promotional ones that come with candy and figures and cookies and Funkos and Mega Constructs and much more. There's going to be a bunch of different ways for you to get these promotional shaders. However, what if they obviously lock basic color combinations behind microtransactions, or even worse, they say something like you need to buy some Halo Infinite Oreos or you need to buy some Halo Infinite Chips Ahoy in order to wear the colors that you've been wearing for over a decade. That is terrible, and that is a very, very ideal possibility that could happen, which sucks. And it does say one thing that we saw, that they're going to be valued at $5, which that does not mean, people are going around confirming out news saying that, oh, this means they're going to be charging $5 for all the different coatings. That does not at all mean that. There's absolutely no confirmation of that, but that is just something that we know, that it does say on one of the promotions they are valued at $5. Is there a chance that they will cost $5? Yes. Is that absolutely absurd? Yes. And is there a chance that, for example, I've been wearing black and green in all my Halo games for as long as I can remember. So if I go and see that there is not a coding in Halo Infinite that's just black and green with, for example, say no other textures or stuff on it, and the only one is if I buy some like Halo Infinite Oreos, or I have to spend $5 real in order to wear the colors that I've been wearing for well over a decade. That is absurd, and I understand why people are really, really upset about this. And this also applies to emblems, because it seems like there are going to be, in Halo Infinite, 2 different kinds of emblems, player emblems and armor emblems, which I think is a really cool idea, actually. I like that idea on the surface level. Obviously, the armor emblems will be the things that have been in Halo for years, where you just have your emblem that's going to be on your armor in multiplayer, and then the player emblems will be kind of more like the Halo 5 one, where, again, I didn't love those emblems because you couldn't customize them at all, but they are going to be, I assume, kind of that same thing, like a player card or a nameplate or that kind of thing. Again, I don't hate that idea, but of course we do get a monetary value on that being $2. So again, are they going to be charging $2 for these different player and armor emblems? I don't know. Again, I'm more fine with emblems being a like exclusive thing, like if you buy the Wicked Cool Toys figures or you buy some Mega Constructs thing, then you get a little Mega Constructs emblem, like that's fine, or like I completely understand that. I'm very okay with that. But it is still weird kind of being told that we may have the option to pay for emblems in Halo, because that has never been a thing, especially when we all just made our own emblems in every single game before Halo 5, which was of course a very unique thing that you could do, that like you could make an emblem that no one else had that was really unique and really awesome, and it really made your Spartan feel like your own. But if now there's only a certain amount and they're all through this shader system, who knows how it's going to work out. Also, the way I would, I guess, go about fixing this whole armor coding system would, first of all, just to keep the primary and secondary color system that we've had. Again, I'm not saying there's not ways to improve it. In fact, I would say go ahead and improve it. Do the things where there's more than just primary and secondary colors, like for specifically I'll look to El Dorito. Do the thing where you can change the different lights on your armor, that'd be awesome. And especially El Dorito's like insane range of like the color spectrum, I guess they had, where you could choose any color. That was like, I love that about El Dorito. That was awesome. Again, I know that might be kind of hard to implement in like an actual game that isn't just like a fan-made mod, but if they could do some stuff like that, or just improve on the system they already have that's not actively detracting from player customization. Again, I understand people's issues with the system, and the people that are also defending it, I also kind of see where you're coming from, but for me, I just see it as, unless I can wear the same 2 colors, like, it's not even saying this is an exact situation that I want to be in, but there are going to be people that are in this situation, unless I can wear the same colors that I have been wearing for a decade, without any other textures, and I don't have to pay for them. Unless I can do that, then I'm going to say this system is actively detracting from player customization, and I hope that is not the case. I would just keep the coatings, but make them only with the textures and the different designs, so the player still holds all the cards when it comes to pure color customization, and of course it's free. We also do see this weird Butterfinger promotion, which features 4 player emblems. Clearly, in this little promotion, they are all obviously Butterfingered colors. But does that mean that colors are now also going to be set to emblems, or is this literally just a thing where there's going to be emblems, you can choose your own colors for them, but Butterfingers just was like, alright, we're going to put our colors on there. I think it seems more likely that colors are now also going to be set to emblems, which, again, we have no confirmation about this, that's just me speculating, but I certainly hope not, because that would also be terrible, and I don't want that. We also see this card that says 5 challenge swaps on it, which isn't really about customization, but we did get confirmation about this, that challenges are back in Halo Infinite. Thank God. The fact that they were gone in Halo 5 was just another thing. I feel like every video I just find some way to go back to Halo 5 and say how, like, what the worst, can't comprehend the decisions they made for that game. But challenges are back, thank God, I'm really excited. I've been loving them in MCC lately, so if they can implement them well and kind of in a similar way in Halo Infinite, I will be really excited. And the challenge swaps that we see, you get 5 of them in this little promotion for Butterfingers. The swaps will allow you to swap one of your current challenges for another, which I also think is a pretty neat idea. There's not a lot of details on it, but for me, the one thing I hope is that it kind of randomly rolls one of your challenges and kind of like RNG replaces it with another random one. I hope you don't like get to pick and choose challenges, because that kind of defeats the point of it. Again, I'm not happy about a lot of this news, and this is just most of the big customization news, and I'm sure you've seen that the community is not happy about it. And again, I obviously don't support all this stupid stuff. I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but the people like sending death threats and all that stupid stuff, obviously, like, no, don't do that. I have it's never much to say, but that's really dumb. I obviously think they're the concerns now, but color customization is incredibly important in Halo, especially all like armor, emblem, everything customization about Halo is incredibly important. And especially the people that are saying colors don't even matter because you're playing on like red or blue team. That is like such a, I guess, base level argument that I don't understand. It matters for everything. It matters for machinimas, it matters for custom games, it matters for literally a free-for-all, literally any, like, it matters so much in Halo, so I don't get that argument. But I understand why the community is upset, I get it, and I just hope all of this pretty much, something I started thinking about, is that it's not being too negatively affected by the multiplayer being free to play. That's something I was worried about, and maybe this is what that's all coming from, but the game still has a $60 price tag attached to it, like with the campaigns, so, and I honestly am so worried about how this is going to pan out with the multiplayer and the free-to-play, because we don't know anything, and I have been saying that for 5 years now. We don't know anything, and we still don't know anything. We just keep getting little, like, droplets here and there over the past year, and it sucks. So, we'll get more on that in a sec, but I did quickly want to touch on the news that Chris Lee, the project director of Halo Infinite, has left 343, which, let's just add it on to the list of not reassuring news about this game, and more stuff about it being in development hell and all that stuff. That sucks, but I'm not freaking out about this too much like some people are saying, oh, this game's dead, Halo Infinite's not going to come out, like all this stuff. It was reported, like months ago at this point, that his role in Halo Infinite was significantly sidelined after the demo was shown, and they brought in Joseph Staten to take his role over, specifically, so this really shouldn't have come to that much of a surprise. I'm not super worried about this. I don't think people should, like, worry too much at all about this. Look into the actual stuff with how his role had been on the game after the demo came out, and then you can make an informed judgment. But even with that news not, like, once you actually do the research about it, not being too bad, that still is not a good look for this game, especially with everything going on. So I asked the question, what is going on with this game? I want to be excited for it. I could not be a bigger fan of the Halo franchise, along with I know so many people in this community. But it has been almost 6 years. 6 insanely long years. And I saw a tweet actually earlier that said, like, they can't really do anything because when they finally decided to show gameplay, they became the laughingstock of the gaming community for weeks. And I think that's a little, like, hyperbolic. I don't entirely agree, but they're not wrong to a certain extent. I saw people in all facets of the gaming community, Craig was like, you know, a cute meme or whatever, but I saw people all over the gaming community that I didn't even know, like, gave, like, any cares about Halo. And they were talking about how bad it looked and how, like, this next-gen hardware was looking like a 2006 game. And that sucks. We've gotten barely any official reveals from this game in, like, ever since it's, like, been announced. And again, that announcement came 3 years after Halo Infinite came out. And really, I think the thing that literally frustrates me when I'm, like, scrolling through Twitter or Reddit or anything, my main issue is that the news from this game, the vast majority of it, has been reactive as opposed to proactive. It has been reactive to leaks and promotions and speculation and rumors and all that kind of stuff. I understand the promotions and the figures and all that stuff that are coming out right now were gonna happen because the game was set to come out in just about, like, 2 weeks actually, which is insane and kind of gross to think about what a bad situation we probably would have been in. I understand that 343 could have not done a thing to stop the promotions or the figures from coming out or any of the little information that has come out. However, I do think they need to rework their marketing schedule at least somewhat to account for that, because the fact that we're just getting all this stuff as more of a reactive measure is not, like, exciting for the game. It makes it feel like this game is, like, a failure and is in a really bad spot. And I understand that 343 is obviously restricted by the higher-ups at Microsoft, but they have got to figure out something, because it is frankly embarrassing, like, trying to watch them do damage control on every single piece of info that's released about this game. And I hate it. It's not fun. Like, it's not fun keeping up with news for this game. It's, like, kind of interesting seeing the new stuff, but when so much of it is not what people want to see, and it's only the negative news that has come out, that's, like, not fun. I see people saying the game needs to be delayed until 2022 now, and people saying, oh, Halo Infinite's dead, and I'm not looking forward to it now, and all these people, like, I don't know. It is not, like, especially, I don't know, like, something hit me this week, I guess, where I was like, man, I don't know what to think about this game. I've had nonstop optimism since that, like, tech demo back in 2018. I was one of the people, like, screaming in my chair, freaking out, saying, like, Halo's back, look how Chief looks, look how everything looks. And, again, that's not to, like, dilute any of the, like, great stuff that looks awesome about Halo Infinite, like, some of the general gameplay, like the art style changes, like the music, like the narrative, hopefully. But again, then that a lot of it just comes back to what their big reveal of the game was, which was earlier this year, which had that great stuff, but also had the terrible graphics and also maybe some gameplay stuff. And just, I don't know, it sucks. And now, especially seeing just everything related to Halo Infinite every day is all promotional stuff. It's all Oreos and Circle K cups and Butterfingers and Chips Ahoy, and like, that I hate seeing that for a game. Like, especially Halo, one of the biggest franchises, feels like it's been relegated to like little like droplets of news here and there, and then the occasional like, buy Halo Infinite Chips Ahoy, buy Halo Infinite Oreos, buy Halo Infinite Butterfingers, and then you'll get these things that we don't even know about. They need to clarify so much of this stuff that has been released, because they do their best, and I do not at all envy the position of a lot of the people like that have to deal with the community. But I also understand where the community is coming from, where they have been waiting to see this game for almost 6 years now, and the fact that we're only getting it through promotional stuff now, and then when it is elaborated on, it isn't elaborated on in enough detail to satisfy anyone, because we still don't know anything. I still know next to nothing about this coding system, other than what they told me, and that's why the community freaked out and like lost their mind. So something needs to change. Anyways, that was my little rant, I guess. I don't know what this video was, but I did want to talk about the news. I don't know, the community is not happy, but I understand a lot of the like anger and a lot of like the frustration. I feel a lot of it the same way. But I also, like I said, understand a lot of the position that the employees of 343 are in. And I don't know, we'll just have to wait and see. Will the game end up getting delayed till 2022? I have no idea. Will it even come out in like spring of next year? Will it come out in fall? They need to do something, have a big change, show off this game looking incredible, and restore people's faith. And we'll just have to go from there. But at the time being, right now, I'm not super jazzed about a lot of this stuff. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about the coding system and all the promotional stuff, and just everything we talked about. Thank you all for watching. Majestic Gaming.